Game of the week, game of the year, potentially, Shane. Number 3, Alabama at number 6, Tennessee. Battle of unbeatens. Crimson Tide favored by 7 points. Game kicks off at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central on CBS. The over-under 65.5. The Crimson Tide, Shane, 15 wins in a row over Tennessee. Tennessee's never beaten Nick Saban as Alabama's head coach. Does that streak come to an end on Saturday?
All week we've been hearing, well, is Bryce playing? Is Bryce playing? I don't know. It depends if Bryce is playing. I mean, that's the common answer, ain't it, Mike? It's like Tennessee can win unless Bryce is playing, because then they ain't got a snowball's chance in hell. Oh, you mean the banged up Bryce coming in that can't run right now? Because not that he can't, not that they don't want him to. So part of me, is in that corner. Does Bryce play? I don't know. But the more that I think about it, Mike, the stars have lined up for the Tennessee Volunteers. We got Cedric coming back. We've got, game day. Everything is just, we're going against a banged up Alabama quarterback, potentially a backup player that did not do well last week. And I don't think, if that's the case, that they can continue to score and keep up with the Tennessee Volunteers, which are red hot and uber confident. This is just, I told you this at the LSU game, Mike. I kept waiting for Tennessee to just be Tennessee. When you look at Nick Saban and how many times he's beat the Volunteers, it's just, you get numb to it. And going into it, there was times, Mike, I remember watching an Alabama game, just praying to God that we didn't lose by more than 3 scores, that we kind of kept it close and a little interesting. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And there's been years I'm convinced that we had a team that could do that, and only to find out we didn't. But I'm convinced this year, Mike, that the Tennessee Volunteers are legit. And I don't hate to admit it, because I freaking love it. I love watching this offense. I love watching Hooker. I love watching this running back. I love watching this whole team, this defense. It's just, you keep waiting as a Volunteer fan for the bottom to fall out or us to make a mistake. And, we thought about this with Florida. It's like, there's no way. There's just so much momentum into this game. Everything's perfect. There's no reason we should lose. And then guess what? We go out and we win. And then now I'm saying the same thing about Alabama. I'm looking at them like, if we just keep playing like we're doing, we can outscore the Crimson Tide. We don't need to be the best defense out there. We just need to keep our foot on the gas. Can we do that against a Nick Saban team? And I think we do, buddy. I think we do. Now, I know I'm a big Orange homer, and there's a part of me that's pulling out. There's a little devil right here, a little Nick Saban devil on my left shoulder saying, come on, Shane, what are you kidding? You can say what you want, but we're going to kick your ass. There's a part of that going on, Mike. But I'm refusing to listen to that little guy, and I'm going over here to my big orange hopple on my right shoulder, and I'm saying, you know what? We can do this. We got this, man. We've got one of the most prolific offenses Tennessee has ever had, and I don't see it slowing down just because of Crimson Tide. The only reason it slow down is if we let it get between our ears. So I don't think that happens. I think there's a shit ton of points scored this Saturday, man. What was the over on this one? 60 points?
65.5.
I don't think it's enough, Mike. I think we're going more. I think we're going to have an offensive shootout here, and I just think old Heupel and boys is going to have that last possession. So give me the upset over Alabama, Tennessee, with your Morristown Honda score, 42, Alabama, 41. Missed an extra point. Got him.
Yeah, you're making fun of how you score 20. How you score 41? I don't know.
Missed an extra point. Yeah, right off the left upright. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the first score, but it's going to happen at some point.
Well, Shane, and I like a lot of what you had to say, but I've said it once before. I'll say it again. I think, everybody is focused on Bryce Young for good reason. Heisman winner, and Yeah, Alabama's just not looked the same without him. But I think the key to this game, Shane, is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs in this Alabama running game. Because even if, let's say Bryce Young plays and he's good, he's not going to be 100%. He's not going to be running the ball. They're going to be trying to get it out of his hand quickly. And Alabama, they've got some fine receivers, no doubt, but they don't have the receivers they're used to having. Mm-hmm. So how are they going to score on Tennessee? This 41 points. It's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs and him running out of the field, catching it out of the backfield. He can line up in the slot. He's such a dynamic player.
Yeah.
How does Tennessee hold up against this incredible defensive front of Alabama? That's another concern of mine, Shane. Josh Heupel's offense does not work as well as it can when they can't run the ball, and we saw that, even against Pitt. Now, I think Tennessee is significantly better than they were week 2 of the season. They're gaining confidence. All we talked about last week was LSU. This defensive line, oh my God, it's such a mismatch. Tennessee steamrolled them.
Yeah.
So there is a chance they do it to the Alabama Crimson Tide as well, Shane. I hope Bryce Young does play. And I've been saying it all week to Tennessee fans. You can't believe, Shade, how many Tennessee fans I've spoken to this week that are so concerned for Bryce Young's future that want him to consider his NFL hopes. Please, God, there's no need to risk your health in this football game. I think you want Bryce in this one, Shade. I really do. And I realize there is a drop-off, of course, to Jalen Milroe, but I would rather have a quarterback that's 100% than a quarterback that's 75, 80% that can only do so many things that can't push the ball down the field. I mean, it's not like Jalen Milroe's that bad. But one thing that's been eating at me all week, Shane, Alabama, I don't want to say they looked awful against A&M, but they just made mistake after mistake after mistake. 4 turnovers, 2 missed field goals, penalties here, penalties there. How often do we see a Nick Saban coach Alabama have that many mistakes week in, week out? I don't know that I've ever seen it. Yeah. Now, we've seen it twice this year, but not in consecutive games or anything. So, I don't know. I think we're going to get a lot better Alabama this week. I think there's a real danger, Shane, of everybody hyping up Tennessee. I think that's exactly what Nick Saban and them Alabama Crimson Tide wants. Now, Tennessee, uber confident, maybe the best quarterback in the country. Shane, I go on these shows. I go on Feinbaum. ESPN runs my clips. I just did 24/7 Sports yesterday. Now they're running my clip. I don't know if you saw it. I said if Tennessee wins this game, Hendon Hooker is going to win the Heisman Trophy. And I really believe that because I think if he does win this, if Tennessee wins this game, it's going to be because Hendon Hooker making plays with his feet, making plays with his arm. He's going to have to score 4 or 5 touchdowns and just be incredible like he has been all season. The problem, Shane, this is the best defense in the country. This is the best college coach of all time. Wager of the week. Alabama 38, Tennessee 30. The streak continues. And I'll tell you what, Shane, I'm doing my part for Vol Nation because I'm about as bad as you with these wagers of the week. I just put the curse on Alabama, but we'll see what happens. I would not be stunned at all if Tennessee wins this game. I've already used up my Alabama gets upset card this year, and it blew up in my face. I look like a damn fool if I just did it week in and week out.
The only thing, other than the obvious quarterback situation, is just I always think that the teams that you played the week before, I think that's a factor, and not a lot of people talk about it. I mean, I know you got a whole week to game prep and everything like that, but when I look at Tennessee, 2 weeks in a row, they've had to prepare for a mobile quarterback. And I think that helps, especially if Bryce doesn't play. We're accustomed to keeping the quarterback honest, keeping him within the pocket. Now, this is going to be obviously the craziest athlete that they've faced back there as far as a runner, so that is a factor. But I think it's still got to be brought up a little bit. And Alabama, coming off Texas A&M, one of the more slower-paced offenses in the SEC, only to come into a Tennessee team that is constantly going out there running 100 miles an hour. I think, that's part of the reasons I picked Tennessee, not just because I'm a homer, because I'm going to tell you, Mike, I'm going to tell you something right now. All right. You know, in the off season, I tried to do this Big Orange Walks for 100 days, right?
Yep.
Well, I failed miserably. Part of the reason is because I'm fat and lazy. Okay, actually, that's all the reason. I just gave up. But I vow to you, Mike, and the football gods, if you let this one happen, I will continue my march, and I will do 100 days of 1 hour walks. I promise. I'll videotape. I'll make sure that everyone gets all the news. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I will not cover it up. I will put up my Apple shit, so you know that I did an actual hour. I didn't just hook it up to my Yorkie and kicked him out in the backyard. I will do an hour, Mike, every single day for 100 days. If I could smoke one cigar after a Nick Saban victory, brother, I need this. I need it. I don't want him to retire. I don't want him to. Here's the thing. One of the craziest. You remember Franklin, right? I hate Franklin. I'm blocked by him on Twitter. He doesn't talk to me anymore up there in Vanderbilt. One of the things I hated the most was the fact that he left town. The fact that he just got the hell out of Dodge. And Tennessee is finally coming back, and they're finally getting into that realm of being considered one of the upper echelon teams in the SEC. And I don't want Nick Saban to retire now. I want to get a couple victories in. I want to get a couple blows in before he goes on out to greener pastures. You know what I'm saying? So part of that, I think the clock's ticking for us, and I need a victory. I don't know if we win the whole thing, but I need a third Saturday. This is one that I grew up, and old people appreciate this, Mike. I'm old. Yeah. I turned 40 this year. I'm a man. I'm 40. But I remember beating Alabama. A lot of these kids don't. This was a big rivalry, and I want to make it a big rivalry again. And the only way we do that is if we get some wins, man. Tennessee needs this. The fan base needs this. We need, I think the country needs this. The world needs Nick Saban to lose a few times, man. Bring him back down to earth. Don't make him such a monumental. Every time you beat Alabama, they run clips for weeks and they have parades for the damn thing. They shouldn't be that way.
For years,
yeah,
really.
I'm still. Texas A&M lost last week. They're still talking about the game they won the year before. That's just where we are with Nick Saban. And he's ruined college football, Mike. He's ruined it. And I'm not taking anything away from the Alabama fans. I'm not taking anything away from Nick Saban and his family. What he's done has been impressive, but it is time to bring the college football down so that we don't know who's going to win this thing. It shouldn't be a shoe-in victory. We shouldn't every year say, you know what, Alabama, number one in the SEC. We go to SEC Media Days. That's all. Nobody even wants to talk about it anymore because it's not fun. And the way we get away from that, Mike, and I'm finishing the rant right here, is a couple losses, man, to show the world that this man is human, to show that this team is vulnerable. Texas almost got him. Texas A&M almost got him. Tennessee, maybe they get them this week. Got to have it.
And let me say this, Shane, because you're picking Tennessee by a point.
Yeah.
I'm saying Tennessee loses by 8. So we're saying it's going to be a close ball game. I would not even be stunned. And this may sound crazy. I'm not trying to be hot take-ish here, Shane. It would not stun me if Tennessee wins by like 14 points and does everything you're saying. Because, we've seen this. It's going to be a damn madhouse on Rocky Top, Shane. And this Alabama team, I know everybody said the revenge tour, they're going to kill everybody. I mean, they were rattled as hell at Texas. Yep. And I think Tennessee's a hell of a lot better than Texas. Yep. So maybe Alabama comes out here and gets rattled. Maybe they get jumped on. Bryce is forcing the issue. We've seen – he's thrown he's as cool and calm and collected as they get. He's thrown a pick six to lose a damn national championship. This is not a guy that is infallible. Maybe he makes mistakes like that. He threw picks in the A&M game that they lost. I mean, this is a guy that you can take advantage of him. And, again, he's banged up. Hell, the backup's turning the ball over about as much as Haynes King out there. There is a path to Tennessee winning this game by a wide margin, and it would not stun me at all, Shane. And to your point, if that happens, Tennessee homers, they expect to win in this because that's why they're homers.
Yeah.
I think the rest of the country expects Alabama to win this football game. This is a game, Shane, where your entire program and the future of it can be changed like that in a heartbeat. I mean, the rest of the country will open their eyes and say, "My God, Tennessee, we got to take this team seriously.
Yeah.
They could win a national championship. They may have a Heisman Trophy quarterback here, and none of that would surprise me. I cannot wait to see this ball game."
Man, I can't, man. I just need it. I need it, Mike. 2001. You remember 2001, the LSU game? We won. We won 2001. They came up, and then we go down SEC championship, and LSU ended up beating us, knocking us out of opportunity to go to national championship.
Yep.
But, forget the teams. Remove the team names for a second. That was what was fun about college football back then. It was like a team, you just never knew. You never knew how the season was going to play out. No one at the start of that season expected LSU to beat Tennessee in an SEC championship. They didn't. A lot of people thought Florida was going to be there. A lot of people thought maybe even Alabama. I can't remember 2001 exactly who they predicted, but that's what we got to get back to. I don't like these lopsided victories. I don't like talking about Vanderbilt losing by 35 points.
Right.
I feel like part of the middle of the SEC is finally getting closer together, where it's entertaining, man. When you talk about an LSU Florida game, not knowing who the hell's going to win the thing, Mississippi State, Kentucky, a 4-point game. That's what we love, man. And when we go to all SEC, because it's going to happen, when we pot it up and we're going to have, more Texas and Oklahoma, we don't want separation. We want every given Saturday to be just a bloodbath of college football, So you do that by knocking off some of these top dogs, and so that's why we need it. That's why we need Tennessee to win.
Yeah. Well, Shane,
I need to get healthy, Mike. 100 days of walking. Come on. You want to see me around, right? You'll bring Cody back before you know it.
I love the fact, Shane, you're putting it on Tennessee to make you healthy instead of the other.
I know. All right, that's enough. We don't have to deep dive this, Mike.
Yeah, but hey, I think that's a perfect place to wrap it up. Shane, cannot wait to watch all these games. Should be one hell of a weekend in the SEC. You got anything before we hop off the line?
No, man. I think you nailed it. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking to all you guys. I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot of shit tomorrow when these hit the Twitters. So I look forward to it, man. It's going to be a great weekend. I truly think we're going to see some awesome games. You're predicting Kentucky with the upset. I'm telling you, one game I'm looking at is the Auburn Tigers, and I know it sounds crazy. Yeah. There's just something about it that makes me feel like little upsets in the air.
All right, brother. Well, hey, I appreciate you. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for checking us out. Don't forget to check out our sponsors in the show notes. That's the only way we're going to keep this show free and independent forever, as you take advantage of those sponsors. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols. Upset. Coming for you, Nick.